Hi guys, and thank you for joining me for the Solar Plexus addition to my Chakra Balancing series. A little bit about the Solar Plexus. It's represented by the color yellow or gold, and it can be found just below the front of our ribs, somewhat like the pit of your stomach, not your belly, like where your belly button is, but above that bit of your stomach. And it's the point where personal power comes in through our bodies. It's a very intense, transformative, there's willpower, confidence, drive, determination, all these wonderful qualities that we need to have to kind of fuel ourselves, so to speak. It's a great one to start with if you're just getting into like working with your chakras, or you feel like you might have some blockages but you don't know exactly what, but you're interested in putting in the work for yourself. And by that I mean, just working with your chakras, like finding out what might be imbalanced and then taking little steps throughout your day to kind of keep those balanced, whether by using crystals or just the thoughts that you think in your head or patterns that you want to set or things like that. So anyway, the solar plexus is a good one to start with, because since this is this point of power that where energy is coming into you, if that's blocked, it definitely has an effect on the upper and low, the ones above and below. So what we're going to be doing today, like we usually do, is work with some crystals, make a little grid, talk about some stones, do a distance Reiki session, and the aura and etheric body kind of cleansing and just like negativity removal. So I know I've mentioned this before in other videos, but it serves to mention again that if you're working on chakras like this, it can be very beneficial to implement any means of correspondence you can into working with that chakra. By that I mean eating the right foods for it, and you can go by color. What's so wonderful about the chakras, like when in doubt, just rely on the color kind of system that they've got going on. Bananas, yellow bell peppers, yellow foods are great for your solar plexus. Wearing the color yellow, just like focusing on the color yellow, that's a type of color therapy, and that can be very beneficial when you're working on your solar plexus as well. And again, with the corresponding chakras and their own colors and foods and stuff. So the first stone that I'm going to be talking about is the one that always comes to mind first when I speak of the solar plexus, which is citrine. So this is a citrine point from Monk and Moon. It kind of has the mentor shape in a sense, but it also has some self-healing. This is a natural point. Citrine has a very lovely, warm sun energy, just like cozy, friendly vibe. It's really a magical stone. This is one of my favorites indeed. Something to be said about citrine, you'll often see if you're starting to purchase citrines, things that say natural citrine. What they mean by that is, so citrine is kind of yellowy, orangey kind of tone. And if you've ever seen amethyst, which I'm sure you have, it's very common for the most part. Citrine is formed by amethyst, like it's amethyst first, and then it will be heated in the ground, in the earth, and it turns into citrine. So it's basically like a baked amethyst, you could say, type of quartz. So when they say natural citrine, it means that there was no hand of man to make this baking process. And if it is not natural, it would be probably heated with a torch, like when they're about to chop it out of the ground. Like I assume that they kind of just like heat it up there, like kind of crudely, you could say. That said though, I do have some citrine points that are, I'm fairly certain they have been created by man in that aspect, or changed from amethyst to citrine. And I can't tell you how wonderful and warm these stones are. I don't have a negative feeling towards man-made or man-imposed citrine. Some people do. Some people don't agree with that process and they're not really interested in that. I'm okay with it, I guess, but you know, I do appreciate the natural stones because they are, you know, in a sense closer to source energy, and it's just nice to know they were created by the earth 100%. So that's citrine. If anyone is just starting to get into stones, I would say citrine is one of the top few that you should definitely purchase when you're first setting up your little collection. Okay. This is an interesting name. I think it's the one I purchased it's just called Healer's Stone, and I will tell you why. It's two different minerals fused together. Pyrite, which is that golden kind of shine that you can see, or you might know it as fool's gold, and I'm pretty sure the black is called magnesite. But for whatever reason, this is called Healer's Stone. And what this does for people who, particularly energy workers or healers of any nature, even therapists in general in a non-spiritual sense, or nurses, or really anyone that's working with people on a healing level, there's like always I don't want to say there's always a risk to having your energy drained, but like it can happen. It happens to me if I have my guard down. Where there's just some people are energy suckers, even when they don't mean to be. It's not like a malicious type of situation, but there's been times even my very best, most treasured friend has drained some of my energy because they're going through something and I want to help them, and we're, you know, talking about it, and like when I leave I need to like shake it off because I've been affected by that energy as well. So this is very good for kind of combating that, or just very neutralizing. It's not like, you know, intensifying and sending it back or anything like that. It just neutralizes that and kind of protects the owner or the wearer, whoever's intent is to be protected by from those energies. Alright, this is a piece of yellow fluorite. So you're going to see a theme, obviously, that most of the stones are yellowish or gold. This is yellow fluorite. It's a either polished or tumbled piece. Fluorite has absolutely wonderful, clear-headed aspects to it, I guess you could say. Your thoughts seem to come more naturally and more clear and more organized, and you're very easy to make decisions. This one is great for creativity and even groups being together, like-minded individuals getting together to create something, or maybe not so like-minded, but either way it kind of keeps that energy of more than one brain able to function and just work together really well. Okay. This is another citrine. It's a Smoky Citrine. It has the same properties as the citrine that I had just showed you at the first stone, but this has also smoky quartz in it, which makes it so very dark. And this one will be helpful for removing negativity. Citrine does not hold negativity at all. It doesn't ever need to be cleansed the way other stones do. So not only that, but since it says smoky quartz in it, or smoky aspect, it will help to remove negativity and kind of pull it out in a way. And the point shape helps to direct the energy out in a way. Here's another, this is a piece of, it's called Tiger's Eye, and it has been cut and polished into this double terminated shape. Double terminations, which means a point on both ends, are wonderful for moving energy, for pushing it this way, that way, wherever it needs to go, spreading it out. This is when I often use this type of shape on my client in a solar plexus, maybe a design, like a mini grid, but if you'll imagine this on your solar plexus, or right below your ribs in the front. And if the energy is kind of coming in like this life force energy comes in, it will be able to transmit very much easier to the, you know, chakras above and below to balance them and cleanse them as well. Which I really like that aspect of this little type of design or shape. And tiger's eye is really beautiful. Okay, you've seen this one 100 times by now probably, but it's great for this video. This is my honey calcite. You know, like, it has a very jelly kind of vibe to it. All calcites are amplifiers of energy. Honey calcite particularly is a great remover of all blockages on all of the chakras. So another reason we're bringing it out for this one. But not only that, it does color-wise correspond with the solar plexus, so it's a good choice. I really love the texture of calcites. They are so jelly, like it's strange when you touch it. They're very smooth feeling and just really interesting. Favorite stone. Okay, and last, oh no, not last, second to last. This is a piece of Hiddenite. It is like a almost yellowish green kind of color of Kunzite. Now, typically when I get this type of stone, this is a little more gemmy than what I've seen in my typical dealings with this. Usually it's a bit milkier and almost like a pale minty kind of green. It can come in gemmy green tones. Very, very, very pale tones like this one. So this has a big variety. Hiddenite is great for the heart and solar plexus. It's great for that love of self and just like inner power, inner knowing, inner confidence, non-judgment of self, so you can just get on with whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's very gentle. And this piece is very small but very beautiful. Okay, and last but not least, it serves to mention also that our solar plexus is where money energy will flourish, I guess you could say, or is activated more in our just general balancing. A lot of people think of money as a bad thing or have this like, you know, disconnect from it, or this like, oh, I hate money. Money is the root of all evil or something like that. But money is neutral. Money is not evil. Money can be used for very wonderful and generous, charitable causes. We need money in our lives, like we just do. The way it is now, that's what we need. And it's not a bad thing to want more of and be okay with wanting more of it. Can't take your friends out and treat them without some extra cash. You know, you can't donate to charities that are meaningful to you, or invest in projects that you find would be beneficial to, you know, everyone, or just you, or anything at all, without having that type of means. So that said, this is an Arkansas quartz cluster in an abundance cluster shape. So it has this kind of like larger primary point and all these smaller points kind of all around it, which is, I guess, classified as a abundance cluster. This has like a smoky hue to it. I'm not entirely sure if it's technically a smoky quartz, but it might just be kind of like a just darker toned clear quartz. So we're going to include that in our grid. Okay. Wonderful. So I'm going to begin by using actually sage today. I know I typically use Palo Santo, but I'm running a little low. So we're going to do some sage. Now, sage is much more dangerous fire hazard wise than, it's on the more dangerous side. So I'm going to be using my abalone shell as a ashtray or smudge holder. Just break off a little bit of the charred parts. This gets a lot of use. Okay, and what this does is kind of cleanse the energy in the room. My intent is to also clean the space for your aura as well, so when we're sending Reiki, it's nice and supported in that sacred aspect. Just for the highest and greatest good, etc. So, sage will fly away like that just did. So it's very, you want to be cautious with it. So just abalone shells are great for this, and usually you'll see like smudge kits sold with the sage, the shell, maybe a feather. Oh, sorry. It's very cleansing of the aura, etheric body, subtle bodies, mental, spiritual. Okay, so that's going to be safe right there. So next we're going to begin to kind of comb through the auric field. What this does is things can be often, especially at the back area, just going about your day. If you're open to accepting that you have an aura, okay. And of course, when I talk about all of this, it's from a very passive aspect. Like, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. If you're watching this just to relax too, that's perfectly fine as well. But this is what I like to talk about, so that's what you get. Anyway, if you're open to, the aura, when you're going about your day, things kind of get stuck in it. It gets like little nasties stuck in your aura from other people, things left littered, you could say, in a sense. On the back, you will find a lot of things that might have been projected upon you. And I don't mean that someone's, behind you, like, wishing evil upon you or anything like that, or just being nasty. It's just like other people's thoughts about you, like what their opinions are. I mean, certainly if there was someone really nasty, that's where it would go as well, to your back, like stabbed in the back in a sense, but also just typical things that maybe people have opinions about you that's not really who you are, but they project that upon you, something along those lines. So when we do our cleansing, we kind of move that out. Is there a risk to not cleansing your aura? Who's to say? But I always feel better when I do it. I do believe that these type of nasties will eventually get through all the layers of our auric field and reach our physical body. I do believe that, it might manifest in different ways, but that's something that I believe in. So cleansing your aura is something wonderful that you can do for yourself at any time. You can do it with smudge. You can do it with intent and just like running your hands through. You can do it in the shower with Epsom salts or even baking soda, incense, lighting a candle, and visualization that way. There are certain stones that you can wear that keep your aura protected. Usually the more I shouldn't say usually the more grounding stones, but stones like nuumite will definitely build a good layer around you to kind of keep things out. But still, it's good to cleanse your aura. Selenite is a great one for that as well. It's very beautiful. So that said, that's why we do this. So I'm going to kind of run my hands through your auric field. and just kind of comb out anything that may be trapped there for now. Often to our shoulders, I always find a lot of weight there, which might be kind of typical for what you'd expect, the weight of the world on your shoulders. Those are typically things that you might have, I don't want to say projected upon yourself, but that you're carrying, for one reason or another. So okay, and we're going to do that again after too, because sometimes I just like to do it before and after. I feel like it's more thorough. Okay, so I'm going to get into the groove a little for a second and begin our Reiki process of distance Reiki. I was asked this week about what my thoughts are on the distance Reiki in this like impersonal, anybody can stumble upon this video type of generalized session. When you learn Reiki or study it or read about it, it deals with an energy, and all energy work does, but it deals with an energy that we all have this access to. It's this life force energy. This energy is beyond our solar system. This energy is beyond space and time. So when you open your mind that way to kind of accept this possibility of non-restrictions in that sense, you can become a little more open to the fact that I'm making this video, sending this energy to anyone who may need it, who stumbles upon this video or, is watching it. Anyone who has within their conscious mind or their subconscious mind a desire to receive this energy. This energy is not like a little lightning bolt that comes down and fixes you. That's not how Reiki or even energy work in general typically works. It's a activation in the same sense that acupuncture is an activation. It activates your body's own capability of healing. Reiki does that as well. They're very similar in a lot of senses. They work along the meridians. They have the same kind of process that way. Or idea that way. So that's what you can expect should you be open to receiving this. So I'm going to begin. Again, the solar plexus is our source of personal power, confidence, drive of getting things done, inner knowing, it's contentness, it's this warrior that we have inside of us, and it's this area that can transmute who we are. We are very different people when we're mopey and insecure, and not that mopey and insecure go hand in hand, I don't mean like that, but when we're insecure, when we don't have confidence, when we don't have the drive and the energy, to when we're incredibly confident, things just work so much better, right? When you have confidence, people see it in you, you become more charismatic. There's a big difference in the polarities of, unconfident you and very confident you. So looking at it that way, you can see just how, even on just that level, it's very important for us to have this chakra balance for our well-being, our enjoyment, and our power within this world and within what we're doing. Alright, so we're going to start. We're going to start by focusing on emotional healing of the solar plexus chakra specifically. and what it relates to in your life on a personal level. Okay, now my intent is to heal or send energy to you on a spiritual level or spiritual healing. And on a physical level as well. Of course, always my intent is for the highest and greatest good, and for you to receive this energy when you need it most, which will typically be when you are watching this now, or when you're ready to receive it, I should say, instead of when you need it most. But okay, now we're going to fluff the aura. My teacher told me to kind of visualize like cotton candy, but I kind of like to think of bubbles, like big, thick soap bubbles. Kind of protecting your aura, like a big soap bubble shield. Something thick that just those little nasties that you might encounter kind of stay out. Smooth it out. Okay, so well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was beneficial to you in some way, whether it just relaxed you or you had something to think about, or at best you were able to receive and accept what I'm offering. I have another video that will be coming out soon, which is more of like updates, because there's a lot going on with me, all very good things. So again, just thank you so much for the support, for subscribing, for liking, for leaving me comments and feedback. I always love to read your comments, try to get back to them as quickly as possible. You can find me on Etsy, Instagram, Facebook, although I'm not terribly active on Facebook, and things like that if you would like to chat or book a session or anything like that. Alright, so thank you very much for, again, and namaste.